in our community and wanted to sit down to get a sense and share with our constituents in District 4 about your role and your role in keeping specifically our business corridors safer. Would love if you could just briefly introduce yourself and the neighborhoods that you patrol.
My name is Brian Ocampo, and I am the Foot Patrol Officer for the Laurel District.
Officer Daniel Cornejo, I'm the Foot Patrol Officer for Dimond District. Been here for 11 years, grew up in the Fruitville area.
I'm Sergeant Keith Clement. I've been with the department 26 years. I was born in Oakland. I've been with the Foot Patrol unit. I'm the supervisor for the unit. We do have approximately 6 to 7 officers that I supervise within areas 4, 5, and 6. And these would be your District 4 or Area 4 officers.
Thank you. One thing that the community's talked about a lot is the idea of community policing. People want our law enforcement to be able to have a bottom-up approach where decisions and strategy is informed by the interests and perspectives of community members. And this is something that City Council, has approved on paper back since 1996. And over the years, there's been an ebb and flow in how much community policing actually takes place versus doesn't. And I'm curious, what community policing means to all of you and how you see your role as a part of community policing.
Actually, the Foot Patrol unit is a form of community policing. Our main task is to come out there and interact with the merchants in our business districts, serve as the liaison officer between our department and the business. We'll listen to their concerns and their issues and their problems, and we bring it back to our supervisors so we can inform our commanders of the possible strategies we would focus on policing that particular community. I was in the old Foot Patrol unit when most of the concerns of the merchants are quality of life issues, like people drinking in public, people just hanging out in front of their businesses. It's still the same way, but it has progressed to more on car break-ins and robberies and armed robberies of their customers and their businesses. So the quality of life issue is still there, but it just added more serious and violent crimes nowadays. So we come out there as Foot Patrol officers, we interact with the merchants and hear their problems, and we bring it back to our supervisors.
Absolutely. Anything you both want to add to that, or? I'd love to get a sense of day-to-day what some of your role looks like. What you're doing each day that you're serving these neighborhoods, and what that really looks like.
So, day to day, we show up to line up. We read off the or lieutenant reads off the DNR, basically tells us, hey, this is what's going on in this area at this time. So it gives us an idea of, what's going on. What can we look for? Keep an eye out, and stuff like that. And eventually we'll come out to our areas. We'll drive around the area, look for anything that might, be of interest. We'll walk around, say hello to the merchants, and we'll shift back from Dimond District to Laurel District, which is this district.
Absolutely.
We also assist on calls for service whenever there are calls for service involving in-progress calls. If there's a robbery or car burglary that's in progress, we would respond to those calls. We would also respond to calls where merchants are calling about a person hanging out in their business that they want to be removed. We would respond to those calls.
Definitely. So I know you've talked about how your role is part of a holistic approach with OPD when it comes to serving the needs of small businesses and those in our commercial corridors and public places. Could any of you talk a little bit about, how you fit into the fabric of other branches of OPD that do community policing related tasks?
Okay. I guess you would say that we're kind of like the quarterback. There are different branches, but we are the liaison between like what you would call your CROs, which is the crime reduction team. I'm sorry, crime reduction officer, and the CRTs that are crime reduction teams. So with like Officer Cornell's talked before, with the lineup in the DNR, this is information that's given to us at lineup. So we're doing intelligent-based policing. So we're looking for certain cars, we're looking for certain crime trends at certain times. So we are kind of like the information crunchers of that. And with that information, what we're trying to do is to target our patrol to a certain time in a certain area within our time frames that we do work. We'll be employing different kind of strategies to patrol. So not only will we be on foot, but we'll be in police cars. When the weather gets a little bit warmer like it is today, we will be out patrolling on bicycles. So giving a different look and a different type of strategy. Sometimes it's not the best strategy to come out there in a patrol car because sometimes the bad guys will see you. But if you're walking and maybe on the bicycle, you can cover more area and be a little bit more effective with your policing.
The most common concern of the merchants in the business district is they want to see presence of officers, whether we're on foot or we're on bike or we're in cars. And as foot patrol officers, that's kind of our role. We go out to the business district, we show our presence, we interact with them on a daily basis, we would speak with them about their day, and we develop that community relationship with them, right? And from there, we get closer. They would give us information about what's going on in the community.
Definitely. And how long have both of you respectively been in your roles as foot patrol officers in the Dimond and Laurel?
We just started when the foot patrol unit started in the East Oakland side, which is January or October, around October.
Okay, definitely.
So it's fairly new.
Absolutely. What about young people? A lot of people, when they talk to me about what they want to see community policing and engagement look like, they say, our police officers talking to young people in our local middle schools, high schools, not just necessarily those, at risk, but those just who are free, whose neighborhood this is. So, so far, have you engaged with young people, or is that something that you're interested in doing in the neighborhood?
I'm interested in that. Unfortunately, we don't have very many opportunities that came by for the past months, right? Most of those it's random opportunities. You see them on the street, they're walking, and you would interact with them, but nothing set where we would attend a school function and we would be there to interact with the kids. However, the CRTs and the CROs have those events. I think last year they have them at the Freemery Park. There were some kind of events out there. And we would be present. We would be available for those things.
Well, we will definitely share opportunities and try to facilitate any sort of relationship building with our local youth and neighborhood associations.
We're mainly what they used to call the cop on the block, right? Where people would see an officer outside and they can approach that officer and be that officer for that particular block.
Absolutely. No, thank you. We've mentioned CRO and CRT a couple of times. Do one of you mind breaking down, the role of foot patrol officers versus CRO and CRT for the public that might not know those acronyms?
Go ahead, Sarge.
So the foot patrol officer would be the officer that you would see predominantly during daytime business hours in the business districts or corridors. The CRO is a community resource officer, so they're also available for information, but they're in a wider view. So they might just not only incorporate the business districts, but the residential areas and everything else. Our CRT, which is our crime reduction teams, they are the laser focus of specifically going after hard targets, problem vehicles, setting up surveillances and things like that. What you also have is your neighborhood service coordinator. So that still runs out of the city, and they usually run all the community policing meetings. So that's where everyone can meet and voice their concerns. And from there, the neighborhood service coordinator gets the information and they assimilate it to not only the foot patrol, CRO, and the CRT officers.
Absolutely. So my last question is, one that I hear often from business owners as well as residents that have experienced crime in their business corridors, and that's really, I got my car broken into, but I know OPD might take a long time to get here. Should I bother to file a report? Do I bother to call 911? Especially given that there's other crime going on in the rest of the city. So when someone's experiencing property crime, whether that's a business owner or someone in these small business areas, what's your advice for what they should do?
I always advise people to report it, because if you don't report it, it's like it never happened, right? Even though you believe it'll take us a long time to respond, report it anyway. There's several ways to report it. You can report it online, you can call our dispatch center, or you can flag an officer down, or you can even go to our police department and we'll take the report for you. But definitely report those incidents, because it gives us the information about what's going on that particular area, so we can focus our resources in that area. Because without reporting it, we won't know it. We would think it's all peaceful there, right? So we always advise, no matter how minute the crime you may think it is, always report it.
Absolutely. And one final question for all three of you. What is your favorite part of the job?
Oh, sir.
Yes. I would think for me, most definitely, it's been always interacting with people. I like to interact. I like to talk to people. So that's definitely my favorite part of the job, getting to know people, whether different lives, where they're coming from in life, where they're at in the life at the time. So that's my favorite part.
I think I would say the same thing. Interacting with people, just get to know them, so know their backgrounds and stuff like that. I think that's pretty. This job could be a little different. So just knowing people and just getting to know them, I think it puts a smile on your face as well, right? So yeah, I would say that, meeting people and helping people too, right? Sometimes they just have a simple question. All you gotta do is just, if you have an answer, address it and just let them know, and that's all they need sometimes.
For me, I think it's the satisfaction of being able to help people in the community, and also being on a different level of interaction with the community. It's more of a personal level, rather than just say you're getting dispatched to a call, this is it. As opposed to where I'm in foot patrol, I see the same merchants over and over every day. I get to know them by first name, and we get to interact. I get to know about their day. They ask me about my day, and I tell them when I'm going on vacation. So it's something different. It makes it more special.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited that you are all on this assignment, and that we're going to be able to grow community policing and that engagement, and have more business owners, young people, community members here in the Dimond and Laurel the opportunity to get to know you all on that basis, and bring back an aspect of policing that people and residents really want to see to make our communities safer. So really appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
To talk to us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
For having us.
Okay.